All right. We'll let everyone filter through here. Welcome to FEVOForum presents Perfecting Your Holiday Sales and Marketing Strategy. We'll give it a couple minutes here to let people come on in, and then we'll get to it, introduce our star-studded panel here, and start talking some Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday sales. Right. I think I'll officially start in like a minute and a half. Welcome, everyone. This is good. This feels like, back in the pandemic days when we were on Zooms literally every hour on the hour talking about stuff. So it's good to have. This is going to be probably our biggest webinar of the year, which is exciting. I just think obviously it's never too early to start planning your holiday strategy and your Black Friday, Cyber Monday. As our co-panelist and co-FEVO employee here, Lillian Lee, likes to say, the best time to start planning was yesterday. So hopefully you guys, if you don't already have in mind, some Black Friday, Cyber Monday idea swirling, hopefully this gets some of those ideas going. Let them marinate. Let's put together something awesome, and go from there. Obviously, with being about a month and a half out from the official holiday start of the season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then obviously going through December and the holidays there. So, all right, cool. Well, I appreciate everyone taking the time to join us. Again, this is FEVOForum presents Perfecting Your Holiday Sales and Marketing Strategy. We have an amazing panel lined up for you guys. We're going to go through what some of our different partners here have done through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holidays through FEVO, what they've learned, some of their successes. And then obviously the goal is to get the idea swirling so you all at home and at your respective teams, organizations, racetracks, concert venues can start thinking about, how possibly you can put together an offer out there for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I think from our perspective, it's a very, very good thing to get these ideas going early and prepare early as much as possible. That always seems to be the key to getting these, right? We technically don't want it to be a last minute thing where everyone's running around with like chickens without heads, trying to figure out what the offer should be, how to launch it. The earlier we can prepare here, the better. Let me go ahead and actually start this over, and we will get this going. So on our webinar today, we have a lot of good folks that I will obviously want to introduce you to. If you guys don't know them, sorry, I'm having a little issue here on my slideshow, but we should be good now. So obviously it should be no surprise to a lot of you, obviously, that FEVO Social Checkout allows you to brand and bundle different things, different inventory on the fly. We like to put in, obviously, a social sharing component to it, where fans can obviously share with their family and friends, bring other people out with them. Obviously, being an influencer is a career now for some folks, and being able to share that. Obviously, we saw in the case of, Fire Festival, where influencers were able to get a ton of people to spend a lot of money to go out and eat a cheese sandwich on a deserted island. So that's the power of social media. You'll see restaurants going viral on TikTok, events go viral. So if we can tap into that, obviously, I think that's part of what makes the FEVO platform really good from a social sharing component, but also really good from a quick and easy buy flow component for your fans, right? Meeting them where they want to buy. I'm very excited to share our list of panelists here. We have a full slate of folks here. that can give you some insight into how they operate with FEVO and specifically their Black Friday, Cyber Monday strategy. So we'll run through, some quick intros here so everyone gets a chance to introduce themselves. I am Jamie Hernandez. I'm our EVP of Partner Success with FEVO. Obviously, I've been with FEVO for about 6 years now and handle our day-to-day client relationships, mainly with our partners on the West Coast. Lillian, if you can give a quick intro, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lillian. I'm the VP of Digital Marketing and Strategy. I come from ticketing, live events, and all that stuff. So overseeing here at FEVO, a few marketing initiatives, product marketing, content marketing, client marketing services, and things like that.
Thank you. Jody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jody. I'm the Director of Ticket Operations for the Ottawa Senators. I have been with the organization since day one, so I'm 30 plus over here. It's nice to be here today.
But who's counting, right, Jody?
Who's counting?
Love it. Dustin.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me, Jamie. Dustin Stafford, Director of Sales and Service here at Kansas Athletics, and I've been here at KU now for about 6.5 years.
Rock chalk. Love it. Appreciate it, Dustin. Haley.
Hey, everybody. I'm Haley. I'm the Director of Strategic Marketing and Sales for the Seattle Mariners. This is my third season, just completed my third season. Prior to that, I was with the New York Yankees.
Thanks, Haley. And take us home, Mark.
Sounds good. Morning, I guess. Well, we're depending on just good day, everyone. We'll go with that. My name is Marc Mahoney. Just finished up my 14th season here with the Mariners, and I'm the Director of our Suite and Group Sales here.
Thanks, Mark. And thanks to everyone for taking the time, obviously, to jump on this webinar with us. We really want to do a deep dive into taking a look at the inside sales and marketing process, right? How these ideas come together, how they are executed, and maybe what you guys are doing after the fact to go back to the data of everyone we collected from these high yield days that you guys are selling a ton of tickets, a ton of suites, a ton of merchandise. And we'll highlight some of these offers that everyone on this panel has done. And then at the end, we will have a Q&A session where we'll go over some of the questions for our panelists or for Lillian or for myself. So feel free to utilize the Q&A and or the chat to ask any questions you may have. We are super excited to talk about the end-to-end promotional strategies with our friends at the Seattle Mariners. Mark was actually the last person to introduce himself, and we're actually going to start with him here. So Mark, can you tell everyone on this webinar how you guys came up with your Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer, if it's historically something you've done and what you saw once it came onto FEVO and what that offer was for you guys?
Sure. So we've been doing Cyber Monday for a long time just because we thought it would be a good idea to highlight some of our distress inventory days, the days that we have, more suites dark. And prior to COVID, really what we had done is pushed out marketing, and we called it a Cyber Monday, but it was really a week-long sale, but it was all hand-to-hand. Basically, it was a form fill, people reach in to us and we sell it to them. And the most we ever sold in that was 13 ever. And then really post-COVID, we all had a chance to rethink it and what we did. And obviously we wanted to meet the buyers where they were. And we had done some kind of testing with limited capacity suites back then when we all had to do that. And we realized, hey, these suites can sell online. Let's try this. And people are buying online. So the price point wasn't going to scare them. So the first time we did it was 2 years ago. I guess it would be 3 off seasons ago. And we sold 84 just on Monday. And we made it just an online, only one-day sale, sold 84. Then last off season, it was up to 104. So really the idea of, okay, find them where they're at, right? And then the price point is it's not prohibitive, so people can come in. We're lowering the barrier of entry for that buyer that might not be interested. And the games that we highlight are games that I think a lot of people maybe wouldn't think as kind of darker days, but it's the Father's Day, it's the 4th of July, Memorial Day, games when people aren't necessarily coming anyway. We were able to we sell out Father's Day now in a couple hours. So, and that's becoming kind of a tradition for some people. And you're able to turn those buyers into, multi-game buyers, not necessarily multi-game suite buyers, but they're coming out more. And you're obviously, the benefit of all that is you're getting their information, and I'm sure Haley will talk about how we can target them in terms of additional marketing.
Awesome. And so your offer was, as we see kind of here in the screenshot, 25% off select suites, select dates. It sounds like some of the holidays, right? Obviously a suite is traditionally more of a premium corporate product. Some of the dates you guys are offering seem to be kind of weekends or holidays where a lot of people are out of corporate offices. So have you seen, because of this opportunity, that you're getting kind of more families and kind of individual fans as opposed to corporate? In that scenario, is that kind of what you're seeing from the folks that are coming in and buying these suites?
Yeah, it's more the individual buyer. Like I mentioned, Father's Day sells out really quick, but then it's probably 80-20, 80 being individual, 20 corporate. And the corporate days are more like the 4th of July and Memorial Day tend to be a little more corporate, which I found interesting because I don't know that I would necessarily want to hang out. I love my coworkers and anyone watching, but I think I'd rather be at home. But that tends to be, those days tend to be more corporate. And then the individual ones tend to be like that Father's Day, Labor Day type kind of school starting, school ending, things like that. But one thing that is interesting, we haven't done it yet, but we are trying it this year. So we have what are traditionally our distressed inventory days. We're doing those, and then we're adding a second tier this year of days that they're not, they might be at a 75% occupancy for all of our suites. So we're going to try those with 2 different tiers. So instead of just the classic 25% off, there's going to be a couple different tiers. So you might be able to choose something a little more attractive to a corporate buyer as well.
Awesome. And obviously we have a stat on here where nearly 80% of the buyers that bought your Black Friday, Cyber Monday were first-time suite buyers for you guys, right? Which is huge. Being able to draw in a new fan and for them to ingest a new product that maybe historically they've never thought about buying. In my mind, I find it interesting. I think the suite sales side of thing, people always assume that either A, it's too expensive for them, or B, that it's sold out. So how has that education piece, where now people can go online without having to talk to someone, right? You mentioned people used to be able to fill out a form or call you guys directly, and that's when you guys sold 13 suites. Now people could go online to this link and be able to not only see availability, but be able to see kind of what the pricing is. Are these people that were 80% first-time suite buyers, are you guys doing, I know we can get into Haley's world of retargeting, re-strategizing, but are they coming back to ingest more products, more suites, or anything along those lines? Is your team taking those leads? Because these are folks that have never bought a suite before. And how is your team, Mark, on the suite side, building the relationship with these folks once they're in the door and bought their suite to continue to grow that relationship with the Mariners?
Yeah, so the next day, basically, this really does only run for 24 hours on that Monday. Tuesday, I'll assign, kind of split it to the different teams that will oversee our suite sales, have them make sure they reach out so there is that personal contact if they do want to add another ticket or things like that they might have questions on. So they build that, and then from that, obviously, you want them to kind of do a little cross-sell, upsell. If you're this interested, would one of our Flex memberships or one of our season ticket products work out for you? And so we've seen a handful, the number isn't huge in terms of people who have invested in what we call our season ticket memberships. On our just normal year-long offer that we have outside of Cyber Monday, we've actually seen more success there with that, with people kind of experiencing the ease of buying this and then being like, I'm actually, more of a fan. We've seen, I think it's somewhat interesting, more group conversions from this. So this buyer comes out, be it individual Father's Day, and they say, this actually might be a good fit for, my beer league softball team, and we'll put together a group of 20, or this might be a cool thing to do for my kid's birthday, but we'll do a group. So it's more individual kind of ticket based instead of actual plans, but we are seeing, yes, some repeat buys.
Awesome. And then obviously you mentioned that, the plan for this year is to add not just distressed inventory, but some higher price points, some maybe more attractive games for folks. Is that something that you guys took a look last year and were like, hey, we've had decent success with this. How do we grow this? How do we drive more revenue? and the decision internally between everyone at the Mariners at the table was, well, let's offer some higher price games and see what kind of success we see there. So what went into that decision to say, hey, like, let's grow this. Let's try to get more suite sales with more inventory across different games for you guys?
Yes, I think, just completely candidly, we thought last year that April and May were going to be a little more higher performing for us, we went to the postseason for the first time in a long time. We were hosting the All-Star game, so that we had some positive momentum there. And we filled okay, but in terms of the overall occupancy rate, it wasn't that high. And that's kind of, with baseball, the 81 home games, or I'm sure other people watching have a lot of different games where they have some days where it's better to have a suite full at a discount than completely empty. And so that's what we're highlighting, kind of April and May dates, that we've never tried this before, just because of that exact thought is, can we get that occupancy from 80 to 90 to 95? And then it makes more sense. And you're getting, again, new people in our system that we can upsell, cross-sell to.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Mark. Haley, I love that we have both you and Mark on this call, obviously, because I think the offers that we see do really well is where sales, ops, and marketing are all firing on the same cylinders. Everyone's kind of understands the mission here. And so obviously Mark just kind of told us what went into putting the suites together, how they did it. But obviously it's your job to get eyeballs on these offers in order for people to actually transact. So can you tell us a little bit about the paid advertising side, where you guys put your money, how you guys advertise these suites, and what you saw from that?
Definitely. So over the past 2 years, like Mark mentioned, we launched this offer online in 2021, so going into the 2022 season. And we utilize everything in our arsenal. So it is a performance media, but it's also email marketing. So from a direct messaging perspective, we utilize all of the things in our arsenal. We have our marketing trees, our email trees being our AI bots, with a combination of rep calls to inform some of our season ticket members, other lapsed suite buyers from the season prior, us talking to ourselves. But from a rep side, then we supplement those emails with our pretty emails, we call them. It's our mariners.com emails that have the GIFs and they have the movement. They're beautiful graphics that really catch an eye, making sure that the message is above the fold so people can click and purchase and get all the information they need at first glance of the email. But then we supplement that, and you mentioned it, with performance media. So part of my job is reviewing opportunity for growing our market. And we talk about sports specifically. We talk to ourselves a lot. We speak to our sports audience, of whether it's our registered users or people who follow us on our specific handles. And performance media really broadens your audience. You're able to target people based on interests. You're able to target people based on demographics, geolocation. And so we really put a lot of effort into creating our Cyber Monday and our Black Friday performance media graphics, and then we push it out in different channels. Over the past few years, we've been able to test different channels, what works, what doesn't. And what we found is that lower funnel performance media really does the ticket. So when I say that for the people who are less versed in the performance media land, lower funnel are things that, like Instagram or Facebook ads or display advertising, that allow people to click and purchase, versus a search engine marketing or awareness marketing, which is broader, has less of a direct conversion. So we put a lot of energy towards Meta. That's our highest conversion for offers like this. We also utilize performance media for a lot of other FEVO campaigns as well throughout the season, and they have pretty healthy ROAS numbers. ROAS is return on advertising spend. It measures the efficiency of your campaign. And just to give some stats behind that, a healthy ROAS for our team, and every team is different, every sports industry is a little bit different, but a healthy ROAS is around $8 or $9. For our performance media, specifically around Cyber Monday, it's around 25. So it really pulls its weight when it comes to the return on the investment.
That's awesome.
That was a lot. Sorry, I just did the whole marketing spiel. You keep going.
No, that's great. Look, I'm a sales guy, so the marketing piece is a little bit over my head, but I would love to obviously understand it a little bit more. So this is phenomenal, because we get that question a lot, right? Which streams is LinkedIn better? Is Twitter better? Is Instagram better? And it sounds like obviously Meta, which would be the Instagram, Facebook world, is where you guys are seeing the best return. So for the marketers out there, when you guys thinking about it this year, obviously take that as you will. I would say probably what we see as well is that, you know, Facebook and Instagram does do a little bit better than the LinkedIn's or the Twitters, hypothetically,
Yeah,
the world, unless obviously the Twitter post is going out from like the direct team tweet to all the fans or something like that. So that's awesome. Obviously, given that it's a very condensed cycle for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? We have the offer built. It can't go out to either Friday or Monday. And then, like in Mark's case for the suites, it's a 24-hour funnel. What is your guys' communication cadence from an email standpoint? Is it one email? Is it multiple emails? How many is too many emails in 24 hours, right? Like, what is your guys' communication cadence from the email perspective to keep it top of mind for these fans for those 24 hours that the offer is available?
definitely. So that it depends on the channel. So when we talk about direct messaging, there's our pretty emails that we have. So it's the more graphic ones. Those we only send two. We send a day before to kind of create some energy around it, and then a day of offer email. And then what we do is we actually do a lot more legwork on our AI, our rep communication. So during the off season, there's not a lot going on. So we have a lot of different touch points that we configure into a communication tree. And so we make sure to highlight Cyber Monday in those touch points. So I would say over a month period, we mention it in messages to our past suite buyers, our purchasers from this year that have a direct rep tie around three times per month, leading up to the offer, just so people are aware.
Gotcha. And you mentioned something that I think is super prevalent in like the music industry, where you guys send an email out the day before to kind of prepare people to say, hey, tomorrow at 9 a.m., tomorrow at 10 a.m., whatever it may be, I'm ready for it, right? We see it a lot with pre-sales, right? Like people take days off work to buy their Coachella tickets and Austin City Limits and some of these bigger festivals. And not so much a question, but I do think that that is super important to prepare your fans, to let them know, hey, this is coming. And so therefore they can block out some time and look out for that second communication that's coming from you guys, as opposed to, you know, getting it the day of and being like, oh, this is on sale now. Let me go look at it. So for everyone out there, I do think, if you want to call it, you know, pre-communication ahead of the sale, or just preparing people, hey, this is going on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Be ready. Drive some of that urgency and does really make it feel like, oh, this is an on sale. Who knows? Everyone's going to try to buy this. I should be ready for it. So I like that advice that you just gave there, Haley.
I would also say, sorry, just to piggyback off something you said, what I would also say is for those pre-emails, for anybody considering doing that, I would look at your email stats to see when your fan base is opening emails and reviewing emails. We did a lot of analytics on that this past off season, and we noticed that a lot of our fan base actually opens emails during lunch versus an early morning. That's typical marketing. I get it too. I open my personal inbox and I have all the emails that come in at 10 a.m., right? And you're just sifting through those. People actually are reviewing in around noon. And so to make sure that your email is top of their inbox, we send it closer to 11, 12 for those pre-emails. So I would urge you to look at some of those stats. So you're not just sending out an email when you think people are reviewing. Sorry.
No, that's great insight. Do you guys see potentially, do you do any stats on like what your subject line is and how people react and open an email depending on the subject line even?
Definitely. What we found is, and this is sad because I do love an emoji and I love an exclamation point. Those don't do as well for us. And again, every team is different, every base is different. But we've noticed that emojis and exclamation points don't do well in subject lines, and the fewer capital letters you have in a subject line makes it seem less businessy, and so people are more inclined to open it. So those are things that we found. Again, subject line, the science behind it changes very frequently because businesses catch on and then consumers catch on because they're smart now. So those could change. But those are things that we try and stay away from.
Awesome. No, that's a great insight. And then I guess last question for you, Haley. How do you guys take the data from last year's sales and how do you guys implement that into decisions, not just for your strategy for this year's Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but maybe season-long strategies, right? I know we can talk about retargeting these people, re-strategizing to them, trying to get them into different products and get them to be, you know, a Mariner season ticket holder, a Mariner suite holder. How do you guys ingest this data and what do you do with it?
So what we do on our side, so once people purchase, we try and figure out different products that they'd be interested in. So Mark mentioned it before, we have a lot of conversion to groups. That's traditional groups, but it's also group events, which if anybody knows Liz McCloskey on the Mariner side, that's her world. So we do try and funnel people into things that we think that they would like based on their purchase and where they're purchasing from. So if someone is buying from a performance media ad, which again, order data is very difficult, if not impossible on Meta. However, if you're doing lead gen, you know where those leads are coming from. We try and stick with the higher, more top funnel products, like a value game, like a midweek matinee, things like that are easily, more easily consumable. But then if people are purchasing through our Mariners mail emails, which are again the pretty emails, maybe we're sending them more targeted information because we know other emails that they've opened. Mark also mentioned we try and highlight season ticket memberships. We're gonna do that all the time. I'm gonna plug it wherever I possibly can. But again, it's just all about segmenting that base based on where they're purchasing from or they're viewing your product, and then trying to figure out how to get them into other products.
Love it. And just because I see you oozing with excitement around the marketing side of things, Haley, random question, like, what would you recommend to the marketers or even the ticket sales people and the folks on the call in regards to ahead of their Black Friday, Cyber Monday? What's another tidbit of information that you would recommend personally from your experience?
Definitely. So for something, actually, I should have mentioned this when you were saying things that you're learning from this year and things that we learned from last year. Traditionally, the last 2 years, when it comes to marketing this campaign, we've done a very standard static image on both Meta and display. And again, for those who are not as familiar, display is the types of ads that you see when you're on your browser and then just randomly the shoes that you were Googling pop up in the corner. That's display, right? So the Mariners ad would show up on, I don't know, ESPN.com or Amazon or whatever your browser's open to. So we've just done a static image in one. What we're going to play with this year for our Cyber Monday and then other campaigns moving forward is having a multi-hit. So on Instagram, on Facebook, you have the story component. You can do that along with the static post. So people are being hit in within one channel in multiple different campaigns and different creative ads. And that's something that's helpful as well because it decreases fatigue of an ad. When you see the same thing over and over, skip, I know, right? But when you're creating a different medium, it becomes more engaging. So that's something that we're going to focus on. We're also going to probably shift our dollars from display straight to Meta because that just converts higher and it's such a short campaign. We want people to we want to push people to that specific channel, and we want to maximize our spend on that channel because again, when you're talking about budget, and you don't have to spend that much, you can spend $500 to $1,000, especially for a single day campaign. It's not that big of an investment when you think about it. It pays for itself for us. I would really say putting it towards a channel has been helpful for us because it maximizes your spend per day, gets more eyeballs on your ads. You're buying people, right? If you think about it that way, the more money you're spending on a channel per day, those are the people, those eyeballs you're buying. So hopefully you buy more.
Yeah, and especially on a weekend where everyone's eyeballs are on social media and websites and everything.
Yep.
So appreciate you guys obviously talking through that. I think, you know, part of the reason we had both Mark and Haley on from the Mariners is to show kind of some of that synergy. It's not just a sales initiative. It's not just a marketing initiative. It's not just a ticket ops initiative. Everyone together really makes it go. And some of the most successful offers we see do have that synergy between sales, marketing, and ticket ops all working together to make it happen. So appreciate you guys talking through your guys' offers. Now we're going to go over, you know, some sales strategies and best practices from our friends at the Ottawa Senators and the University of Kansas. We're actually going to start off with Jody and the Ottawa Senators. Jody, thank you so much for taking time, knowing that obviously the season for not just you guys, but all of our NHL partners is coming up here. Can you give the folks on the call a little bit of insight as to what your guys' Cyber Monday, Black Friday offer was and what fans were able to get with that offer?
For sure. So historically, we were very reactive in our response to games that weren't selling well. And we would basically sit down the week before and review the next week's game. And it was kind of like whack-a-mole. You would throw offers into market and see what would stick. So we knew that a more measured and thoughtful approach was necessary. So coming out of COVID, we made a conscious decision to sort of limit the offers that we had out there and be strategic about the timing of them. So obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when everyone else is having deals in market, we wanted to capitalize on that. And we take a bit of a different approach for ours. So it's a BOGO offer, buy one game, get one free. And we would launch our Black Friday offer on the Monday before Black Friday. So we're in market for a few days before Black Friday actually hits. And then on the Sunday, we basically repackage the exact same offer, but brand it Cyber Monday and extend it through to the following Sunday. So we're in market with our offer for a good 2-week span. And I think the key thing here is it is a true BOGO offer. It's buy one game, get one free. And we're wanting to influence our fans' behavior and bring them to the building more than once in a season. And then we hope that translates future seasons, that they may extend to some sort of game pack or send on demand or what have you. So previously other platforms really push a 50% off offer, and you could do that in multiples of 2, which would somewhat qualify as a BOGO, but with our move to FEVO, it allowed us to really execute a buy one, get one free. So we were super happy about that. And yeah, again, just influencing the fan behavior, bringing them back to the building more than once. Your per caps go up, they are paying for parking again, hopefully visiting concessions, maybe buying some more merch. So the more times we can get them in the building, the better, just in terms of all overall revenue.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned something very key and important there, which was you guys were first to market, right? In the sense that you guys launched the Monday before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, to kind of get that offer out there, knowing that, you know, if you wait till Friday, hypothetically, you're going to be vying with a bunch of other companies and a bunch of other opportunities for people to spend their money. Hey, this opportunity is available now. And then I do love that you guys basically repackaged it. And then, hey, instead of a Black Friday offer, here's Cyber Monday. It's in essence the same offer, but maybe, you know, someone was busy on Friday and is now Monday back at work, has this in their inbox. Oh, let me take a look at this offer. So I do love that. And I think you also mentioned the importance of, for you guys, it wasn't so much to discount a ticket, but to get them into the building 2 times, maybe more, through this offer. Did you guys see, I guess the question on the, you know, free games, did you guys offer, I think based off the screenshot here, it looks like a handful of games, 5 to 6 games. Were those specific games you guys chose for, you know, moving into thinking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Something you learned, would it be more games, less games? How did you guys see that from a fan perspective? Was there any feedback you got in regards to the games they could choose from on this offer?
I think we had a good selection of games. So we would push a November, December game as their paid game, and then a January game as their complimentary game. And we had a good mix of games, obviously more of our tier 4 inventory that we were trying to move through these. The one word of caution that I would say is that we went out later in the season and repackaged BOGO again as more of a spring fling mega March deal. And in that case, we our list of comp games and paid games intermixed. And we found that some people would then redeem their comp tickets back into the paid game. So we really shot ourselves in the foot on that one. We weren't expecting that consumer behavior. Whereas when we went out in the fall, it was 2 distinct lists of games. So their paid game and their comp game was never the same.
Gotcha.
So I think going into this season, we would make sure that we do the same, as have those lists of games being distinct.
Yeah, separate lists so they can't double down on the same game. That's a good learning, obviously. And then obviously, given, you know, your experience in the ticket ops world, you know, one thing that you mentioned to us prior to this call was, you know, just prepping early, getting everything set up in the ticketing system and FEVO, having the conversations doing test purchases to make sure that, the consumer experience that you guys expect is there and that we can do everything. In your eyes, obviously, like, when do you guys start preparing for a Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer? And when would be like the ideal time in your eyes, obviously, to make sure there's no surprises come, the week of Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
It's funny because I was just having the conversation with our VP yesterday saying we should really take a first look at the games that we want to include in this season's offer, because there is a ton of moving parts with this offer. We rely heavily on FEVO, and you guys have done a great job of executing for us in terms of the redemption links for their complimentary tickets. And you want to test that and make sure that what they're being served up as their complimentary tickets matches what they paid for their paid game. So it really, I would say a good 2-week minimum lead time to feed the information, get all the links built out, and then make sure they're being thoroughly tested on both ends. There's confirmation emails that need to be reviewed, and just making sure that the text and links all go where you expect them to go.
Awesome. Thanks, Jody. Appreciate it. Dustin, obviously I think this one is, and what you guys do at Kansas is super awesome and super interesting in the sense that, like, some of the stuff that you guys put together for Black Friday, Cyber Monday isn't necessarily tied to a ticket all the time. Can you explain to the folks on the call what your guys' Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers entail?
Yeah, for sure. So last year for our Cyber Weekend offer, Jamie, we wanted to get as creative as possible, right? So really what we did is we went to our head of equipment and went to the marketing storage closet and said, what do we have in here that we can put a price tag on? And came back with a bunch of really, really unique items. I mean, team issued gear for the basketball team that fans go crazy over, baseball jerseys, Final Four chairs, Final Four programs, some autographed by Bill Self that had a bit of a higher price tag to them, right? All kinds of different items. And one of the primary reasons for this is, unlike, the Mariners or the Ottawa Senators, we have multiple different sports that we're selling and we're ticketing throughout the year. So we're always pushing out ticket offers, right? And our fans get pretty used to this. So in order to catch more eyes and draw more attention to the Cyber Weekend offer, we wanted to offer more unique items that people can't go to Rally House or any store and buy. They would have to get it through that offer. And in doing so, we did capture a lot of attention that for mostly, those items that we were putting on sale. But it also caught attention to the games that we had for sale on there too, which would be primarily men's and women's basketball at that time.
That's awesome. What would you say based off the sales? And obviously this is different because there's a finite amount of specific items that you guys obviously have for each one. But what would you say were the most popular or got the most notoriety on social media? What were people super excited to buy from you guys?
The Final Four chairs. I mean, that's something that you just can't get anywhere else, right? But surprisingly, we sold out of nearly every item that we put on there. And we put on, like I said, baseball jerseys, things like that. They had a $50 price point. These had been used by, former baseball players probably many moons ago. These are not, fresh off last season. This is stuff that had just been laying around and collecting dust. But we were able to take it and put a price tag to it and sell it. But there were a ton of unique items, Jamie. Eric Emanuel, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with that. He's a designer that had designed unique KU basketball shoes. Those were a really hot commodity. Obviously, any team issued basketball gear moves really quick at Kansas as well. So they went quick, man. They went quick, and then we were able to get some ticket sales off that as well.
Love it. So you mentioned obviously monetizing stuff that it's just collecting dust, right? Like if you guys didn't sell it, it'd probably still be there in the warehouse or wherever you guys had it. I think one of the cool things I saw, you guys did the championship floor from a Final Four, and you guys made keychains out of it, and you could purchase a keychain that had the floor. And if any of you love Aaron Paris enough, keep an eye out for this year's offers and buy him some Kansas gear if you'd like. But from my perspective, I think it's pretty cool, right? Like, hey, to your point, we need to get eyeballs. They're used to ticketing offers. What else can we kind of put together? obviously we could do it through FEVO. You kind of set up through the primary ticketer. You mentioned some pricing strategy, right? Can we hit consumers via early bird offers? When you guys sent these offers out, was there any sort of potential pre-sale to your guys' season ticket holders or friends and family of Kansas, or did it just go out organically to everyone at the same time, and it was kind of more of a first come first serve scenario?
That's a great question. Ultimately, it was kind of more of a first come, first serve scenario. Of course, we included our season ticket holders, single game ticket purchasers, everybody within the email marketing campaigns, but we also didn't do any paid advertising for this. Basically, what we did is, if we were selling baseball jerseys, we would take anybody who had purchased baseball tickets in the past, include them in that email marketing campaign. Of course, basketball ticket purchasers, women's basketball ticket purchasers. And then we would also layer in Fanatics data. So through our Fanatics data, we can actually see what people are going out there and buying, whether that's basketball, baseball, football merchandise. And we could segment that and layer it in too, which I think was ultimately super helpful as well. And those people are typically buying merchandise. They're not always buying tickets. So layering them in to help get some more eyeballs on the tickets and some more sales there.
Did you guys see potentially that some of these people that were buying maybe have never bought tickets before and were new to the system because they're just buying merch?
Yeah, as far as the exact percentage, I'm not sure right off the top of my head, to be quite honest, Jamie, but whenever we roll out these ticket offers, especially the Cyber Weekend offers and the holiday specials that we run, there are a lot of first-time purchasers. And obviously, those are then new to our database that we can continue to go out and go after with whatever campaign that we're running at that time.
Love it. That's awesome. I mean, anytime, obviously, that you guys can draw new fans in and get them into your database, I think is huge for future stuff. So being able to provide something that's different, right? I know a lot of us on this call are ticket operations, ticket sales, marketing, driving ticket sales. Here is Dustin, who's also in charge of selling tickets at Kansas, but took a nice little different approach to bring something new to the table, monetize, bring money in for the department, but also give fans something new and exciting to be able to get their hands on. So appreciate that, Dustin. Now, I'd like to turn it over to our internal FEVO marketing genius, Miss Lillian Lee, who's going to run through some of the things that you should be doing from a marketing perspective with your FEVO Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday offers. Lillian, take it away.
Sweet. I'm just gonna take us home, hopefully. I know we're running close on time, but I'm gonna go through some super tactical takeaways as well as some platform functions, some tools that I want to make sure everybody's aware of and are using, hopefully. So in these kind of three buckets, the first one is tracking and reporting. The big takeaway here, as we've kind of talked about, is get ahead of all your campaign planning and make sure you know where your traffic is coming from and where your money is the most effective. And then in platform, we have a couple things that can help with that. We have referral codes, we have promo codes, discount codes, and things like that. We have a super robust in-platform reporting suite that you can parse out buyer data, sales analytics, web analytics, and really just kind of get granular with it. And then the thing that I'm super, super excited to share, it's been a long time coming, and I know we have a couple partners kind of waiting in the wings for this, so I appreciate y'all's patience. But we're just about wrapped up with our GA4 migration. So our partners on Enterprise will be able to plug into that enhanced e-commerce implementation, and you'll get all of the reports out of Google that are kind of out of the box. And we actually layered in a ton of enhanced e-commerce data points and some more robust stuff in there as well. So yeah, look out for that. We'll kind of make a big splash about it once it's ready and tested and things like that. And then for additional tools and channels, I have to highlight our exchange program, our exchange team. They've been growing this program this entire year. And obviously, a lot of you guys are aware of our Costco program. That's still on the table, of course. But we also have a couple of new folks added to our list, which is the American Bar Association and City Entertainment. Basically, FEVO is powering all of their membership promotions in the live event space. So if you want to get involved there as an added distribution channel, make sure you guys reach out to our exchange team. We also have a couple SMS partners that have been super integral in a lot of our partners' go-to-market strategies. I think we had talked about generating buzz, creating urgency, creating a sense of urgency and things like that. So our SMS partners have been a great way to like capture leads, capture contacts, and then schedule any sort of like immediate call to action to go purchase when a sale drops, or, if we're thinking season long, when a season drops or schedule drops, things like that. So think about reaching folks, we talk about reaching folks where they're at. I'm attached to my phone. It's been here this entire time. So if you're getting an SMS and it's something that you've opted in for explicitly, it's an awesome way to get people kind of pushed into your funnel. And then, we have a very, very lean, but very mean / friendly client services team. As an extension of Jamie's kind of success crew, we're offering a lot of like campaign consultations, best practices from a digital perspective. So please lean on us as like additional support if you guys need. And then for strategy takeaways, I think we've covered a lot of this already. So it goes without saying, like, I think across our ecosystem, we're seeing about 60 to 75% of our visitors come from a mobile device. So to Jody's point of like making sure that end-to-end testing, the user experience, the customer journey is tested, make sure you're doing that on mobile too. I see a lot of our partners put a lot of time and effort into like these amazing graphics that might not be legible on a small screen. So things like that, just to keep in mind when you're going through these promotions and going through creative planning. And then for, let's see, like when you're kind of formulating your offer, obviously explore discounts. Black Friday is kind of known for that, Cyber Monday and things like that. But to, like the Mariners credit, we didn't necessarily go discounts wise. We went premium, we went value add, we went exclusivity. So there's tons of ways to kind of package up a Black Friday offer. So make sure you're thinking about premium inventory, putting things online that you might not necessarily do so. And then the last thing is, of course, A/B test, whether it's audiences, whether it's channels. Circling back to tracking, reporting, not spending money where it's not performing. To Haley's point, like you guys have gone through years and years of like parsing through data and making sure that you're going with meta because it's performing, things like that. Track it, dissect it, and then action on it, I think is probably my last takeaway.
Love it. Thanks, Lillian.
For sure.
So just to beat a dead horse on the key takeaways, right? Meet people where they are, where they want to buy. They want to buy mobily. They want to be able to access things candidly without even having to talk to anyone most of the time. Make sure we prep and we test end to end. All right. No surprises. So when we launch, we know we're good to go. We've done test purchases. We've looked at the offer on mobile. We've looked at it on our desktop. We've sent it out to internally other folks to take a look at it and get eyes on it. Then lastly, get creative, right? I think, Dustin did a great job with his crew of, hey, we do ticket sales all the time. Let's sell some chairs, right? Let's grow our portfolio. Let's do more sales from that standpoint. So I think from our perspective, we're a month and a half away from the true holiday season starting. I do not think it's too early to get out there and start thinking about what kind of offer you would want in the market on those days. It is the biggest spending weekend in the whole entire year. So candidly, I just feel that if you do not have an offer out there, whether it's tickets or merch or something else, it's a big missed opportunity to drive in revenue. And I know there's going to be some partners, right, that maybe don't have schedules or do not have, set games or things of that nature. Be a great time to launch a voucher program so you can start driving revenue here in Q4 of 2023 already for 2024, right? Let's try to connect with people. So if you haven't already, start thinking about that strategy. Loop in your partner success rep or even Lillian and her marketing services team to discuss how you want to execute this. Again, we wanted to put this in the books in the first week of October because it gives enough time and enough leeway. Obviously, Jody mentioned, hey, 2 weeks out, like everything should pretty much be in place, ready to go. We're only about a month from that 2 weeks out of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So please keep that in mind. Now, obviously, I'll open it up to a little Q&A action and see if anyone has any comments, questions, concerns? I know we have a couple in the chat here. They seem to be for Jody. So Jody, I'll read these out to you. One of the questions was, do you limit the games that they can redeem for the free game? And obviously, I think the answer to that is yes. There was a set of 5 to 6 games they could get the free game. Did you limit locations? I think you said that they would get the same location or similar price point based off where their paid game was, but just wanted to confirm that.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, we had a list of about 5 or 6 games in January, February that were the complimentary games. And in order to sort of streamline the redemption link, we said if you bought anywhere in the 100 level, you would get your complimentary tickets in the 100 level. So not necessarily dollar for dollar, but if it was available, you could select the same price point. If it wasn't, then there's other price points available that you can choose from. So it wasn't necessarily dollar for dollar, but it was the same level of the building. If you bought in the 300 level, then your complimentary tickets would be in the 300 level. And that just really streamlined how many links we needed to produce and then send upon purchase.
Awesome. We have a question for both the Mariners crew and Jody as well. The Mariners offer, we mentioned, is a 24-hour offer, premium. Jody, your offer had a 2-week stint, right? Leading up to Black Friday and then the week after on Cyber Monday. Were there any test runs on the length of time of offers that led to you guys to make the decision of how long you guys wanted to run it, or what went into that decision if you guys didn't test it with other offers or things of that nature?
I think for us, it was historical. We started with a smaller window of time, and then it would be over the last 2 or 3 years that we grew to the full 2 weeks. I think that just gives us an opportunity to do a warming campaign in advance of launching, and then the trigger email on the date that it's available, and then at least one reminder email before it goes off sale. And then we churn that through and do the exact same thing for the Cyber Monday offer. So we're hitting up people who haven't opened or responded to the previous emails, so they're not getting inundated. We're sort of segmenting out who's already clicked through. But we have seen that the longer we're in market, especially at a busy time of year like that for sales opportunities, the more successful we are in our campaign.
And for us on the 24 hours, we wanted to keep it as a Cyber Monday thing. One, it's a premium product that you're selling at a pretty good discount, but two, the kind of the historical of like, hey, this will work and these can sell well is our push for, as I mentioned, we did the limited capacity suites. We tried that out on a couple of games that would be deemed as more popular opponents, and just the sell-through rate was pretty high, even at that kind of time where people were a little more concerned to come out. So we knew if we treated it just as such as 24 hours, we felt pretty good about it. We wanted to see what it would do the first year. And, if it only sold 20 suites, we might have extended it, but it sold 84. So we feel like that makes a lot of sense because, as you mentioned, people are buying that day. So we may as well keep it right within that day.
The leaks have also, I'll add to that. We actually tested with length of flash sale last year with our Black Friday offer. And the leagues have done some research on what's the appropriate timeline, what gets the most single game sales. And the 2 sweet spots that were shared with us last year were 24 hours and then 72 hours. So if you're thinking about playing around with the time period of your flash sale, I would stick to one of those 2. So to Mark's point, we stick with the 24 hours because it's a really premium product. We don't want to keep it on sale for a crazy long amount of time because we don't want to devalue that product. But we do, for lower value products, we do extend that period to 72 hours.
Can I add one thing? Just with respect to who we're going out and targeting, if someone's already paid full value for the paid game or even the comp game, we don't include them in our email marketing because that's just going to result in phone calls saying, can I get in on this offer? So yeah, we would exclude them out as part of that email campaign.
Gotcha. Jody, got another one for you. People are asking, how was the offer built? Was it integrated or non-integrated? Because obviously there's 2 games involved here. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, The offer was integrated. Obviously, they purchase the first game and then make a selection of their second game with basically a second offer that goes out to them after the first purchase with an email that says, hey, here's the link for you to select your second game. And then it has a code for them to enter that. So in essence, it was integrated, but it was two separate offers, one that came after the initial purchase, correct?
That's right. It was, so in the messaging of the first offer or the first purchase, we said they'd receive their BOGO link within 24 hours. And that was something that was executed on your side. I know Lillian said that might be coming, that link would be served up as part of the confirmation email this year, but I don't know where that sits. So maybe she can comment on that.
Yep. I know there's a couple partners that are running similar campaigns, so it's definitely on the radar, if not on the roadmap already. So Jody, I'll keep you posted on all
Okay.
of that.
Okay. So yeah, so they would receive a second email, and this is where the end-to-end testing comes in, because again, it's not just purchase and done. It's then you want to make sure that the the redemption email goes out and that the language in there makes sense to what they should be expecting.
Awesome. And then we had another question, wondering if any teams have used FEVO to create a vouchers, right, during the off season. I can kind of take that one. We do see partners that will create a voucher program, right? Hey, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, even if we don't have a schedule, even if we don't have inventory yet, we still want to capture folks that want to spend their money. So you can put together that voucher. Maybe it's, hey, you get a discount for, in Jody's case, buy one, get one, or you get $100 worth of credit, or you get 2 tickets in this specific location of the arena for a future game. And then we can then convert those into a FEVO offer, send all those people that bought the vouchers codes, and they can then transact their codes, right, to get their paid for tickets that they paid for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I think if you don't have a schedule, if you don't have inventory, right, and maybe you don't have merch or something to sell, I think vouchers is the way to go to be able to transact some folks and be able to bring in some revenue in the back end of 2023 that will obviously go towards your 2024 bucks. So feel free to connect with your partner success rep in regards to creating a voucher offer. What would we go? How do we do that? And how do we execute the redemption piece to it? But we can absolutely do that if that interests you guys. I believe that is all the questions I had. Unless there's any other questions left, we're kind of coming up right on time. We really appreciate everyone taking the time to join us today for the webinar. If you have some feedback, you can obviously always email your success rep. You can send any questions to bd@fevo.com. You can also scan the QR code if you want to give some feedback. But I definitely want to say an extra thank you to Mark, Haley, Jody, Dustin, and Lillian for joining us today in the middle of the week. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out on the FEVO front. But sincere thank yous to everyone that joined us today. Appreciate you guys making the time. And obviously, let's put together some Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday offers. I'll be hunting you guys down to see what we're putting together. So appreciate the time, everyone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and have a happy Wednesday. Thank you.